Course is clear. Our chief official is ready. Riders, time to clip in. Zip up that jersey and buckle on that helmet. We're about to get things underway. It's the third race of the Valley of the Sun. This is the Criterium Cat 2. You're going to be going on the whistle.
What's poppin', party people? Welcome back. Valley of the Sun, man. This year, something new for me. Pure Cat 2 race. So, as you guys know, last year I was working towards my Cat 2 upgrade from Cat 3. I managed to get that towards the end of the year. Last year I raced Valley of the Sun, a 3-day stage race, as a Cat 3. But this year, Cat 2, baby, the big dogs-ish, kind of, sort of, but not really. Anyway, yeah, pure Cat 2 field. Kind of my first, I guess, stage race that is a pure Cat 2 field. I raced Bloom last year, did pretty well in the circuit there, 7th of like 95 or 100 or something. So that was a 2-3 race though, so there's a little more opportunity to kind of be in the bubble at the front end, especially if you're kind of in that upper tier of Cat 3, pushing, you know, regularly getting points in those 2-3 races. Those fields generally tend to be a little bit softer than like a deep pure Cat 2 field like this one. So Valley of the Sun, man, is kind of my early season tester. I get to get out and see where the legs are at. It's a 3-day stage race, like I said. So stage 1 was the time trial. I was really happy with myself. My power numbers weren't anything crazy, but this early in the season, I always go on vacation for the holidays, so I kind of have a little lapse in time on the bike. So this really comes out as like my return to fitness, you know. Some of these stage race gains that I get from this actually contribute pretty well to my fitness. It allows me to, my body to kind of get shocked back into shape here. So I did 295 in position or something like that for around 21 minutes. CDA though is what I'm mostly proud of. That's down to like 0.21. And honestly, the transition from like the 2022 me that's out there like doing almost as much power, honestly, but training a lot more to do that power. Doing almost the same amount of power, but like going minutes faster. I think last year I was a minute and 20 something seconds slower than I was this year, and the conditions this year were arguably much worse and much slower. So, you know, I'm really happy with the advancements I'm making on the time trial bike. I think if you guys want to watch the video on some of the upgrades I made, I did, I'll share that at the end, but I did make a bunch of upgrades, and I got my CDA down, like I said, to 0.21. So looking good, looking sharp on the TT bike. It didn't put me in like an amazing position in GC, because let me tell you, some of these Cat 2 dudes are short timers. They are moving on up. Elowan won the, I don't know his last name, but Gardon or something like that. Anyway, Elowan, he's on the U.S. National Paralympic team. He is an absolute savage and mopped everybody, and I think might have been faster than the pro field on the day too. He had the fastest time on the day, might have been a course record even. So that's what we're dealing with in Cat 2, man. Absolute savages. But this is the crit. So this is stage 3. The road race the day before, you know, I am never really competitive in stage 2 of Valley of the Sun. I just know that climb is like a 4-5 minute effort, most closer to 4 minutes, and you can kind of sag the beginning of the climb, but then it kicks up, and you are succumbed to however many watts these little dudes want to do. And let me tell you, I'm not little. I'm sitting at like 165 right now, and so going up those climbs, I'm doing like, you know, 400 watts, over 350 the whole time, and you know, some of these kids, I know it's a watts per kilo game, but they are not doing that, let's just say that. So their raw power's a little lower. Yeah, nonetheless, road race absolutely got my shiznit kicked in, you know. So that's where we're at coming into stage 3. GC aspirations far and gone, but Max is sitting top 10 in GC, so the idea here is to kind of just ride for ourselves. If Max is alive and has the opportunity to get to the front at the end of this thing and can maybe just give me a clean set of wheels to the finish line, that would be super helpful. So that's kind of the general idea. Diving into this course a little bit though. So this is turn 1. It's a chicane here. It takes this left-hander and shrinks down to just the 2 lanes. So we come from like this 4-lane wide open straight, and it's a super fast straightaway, and everybody's just really laying on it. And then we kind of just shrink down real quick, into this 2-lane road. And the problem with that left-hand chicane is then it billows back right, and everybody kind of takes a weird line there. So if you're on the outside wide line, you have to pinch. And so when everything gets pinched, people get a little sloppy, things get weird. In this race, I'm really kind of trying to rely on my ability to corner. I'm pretty good and pretty smooth in corners. I pedal through pretty well, so I don't have these huge power spikes. I know in this chicane, I can pedal through pretty easily. I usually try and take that inside line because there's a median that juts out, and you can see those cones kind of deflecting off of that. But the median juts out on the right. So if you take the wide line there, you can carry a little bit more speed than the inside line, but then you lose that speed through the next corner because you have to pinch up and get tight. Sometimes you get squeezed against the median. So I personally like to slot left there, come inside, and then go wide. Now we're coming into sort of the last 2 corners, and these last 2 corners, they really act as one corner. And this is another portion where it kind of just gets really tight. Luckily, you know, racing a lot of the Pro 1 through 3 stuff down here in SoCal has me really efficient and really good at moving up kind of in the middle of the pack. So that's my goal with this race, is to take those opportunities and slot up when I can. Sometimes I move up when there's a freewheel to move forward. I did not follow Dominic there. He's in the UCSD kit, kind of just going loco on the right. Probably would have saved me some watts. Maybe I could have done it, but honestly, we're going so freaking fast down this straight, man. Not sure if it's even worth it. So just some stats here so you guys are aware. I averaged almost 280 watts. I think I did like 278, and I mostly sat in for the entirety of this race. The average speed for this race was 29.8 miles per hour. So it's a 30-mile-an-hour crit. So, you know, it was too fast for much to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump to the end here. You guys are seeing now, we're coming into 2 to go. All right, so 2 to go. As you guys can see, I'm struggling. So I'm way too far back coming into 2 to go, and this thing is strung out. And I always think this race there's going to be a lull in it, and I can take that opportunity to move up, but we're doing 35 miles an hour with 2 laps left. So I'm doing all I can to move up here, and I'm trying to find the opportunities I can to get to the front. There's probably 50-something dudes in this field, I think, and I'm sitting way too far back. So I take advantage of this chicane, come wide there. I did not get pinched, luckily, because people took some tight lines, but I gained a few positions. So I was lucky enough to move up, and I'm taking advantage of sort of every opportunity I can to squeeze through gaps. And anytime it gets wide, I try and occupy the middle and continue to push forward. So a little bit squirrely in the corners, no big deal. That's just usual stuff at this point. And you can see number 206 on my left. That is Walker. He is sitting pretty good in GC. I think he's first or second overall after the first couple days. Maybe second or third, actually, behind Ella1. But anyway, I'm taking this inside line, like I said, and I probably want to just kind of follow him up. But I'm not being as assertive as I probably should. I should be dumping more power here than I am. I know I'm doing 500 watts, but it's not enough. I'm pushing through the middle when I can. Obviously, it looks like there's some larger gaps here than there really are because the GoPro wide-angle lens just makes this space look huge. But I'm definitely squeezing myself into positions that a lot of people would probably decide against. But I think that's fine. The last 2 laps of the race, you got to have the dog in you. And so I'm moving up well. I'm thinking, all right, coming into 1 to go, we should be okay if I can kind of do the same thing. And I know this straightaway gives me a little bit of an opportunity to do that. And it's protected on the left here. So I think it's a little bit faster to move up the left side. And so I'm expecting everybody to surge here and go and make some space there. And I just kind of don't have anywhere to go. My wheel is just sitting between these guys. And here I get kind of pushed left because there's a massive surge on the right. I don't know if you guys saw everybody just sort of drag racing for this corner. But this corner's kind of it. I concede some space to the Team California rider on my right. That was a bad idea. And then I spike at 780 out of the corner, which is not good. I've got Tom in front of me here. He's a Canadian track rider. and I'm hoping that Tom is going to have a good kick into this finish. I'm hoping that also he will be cornering very quickly. And so I go underneath there, I find a good line. This is another opportunity to move up. I kind of try and force this rider out with my bars, but he gets around me with a couple hard pedal strokes. I think that's fine. I'm just gonna set up on the left here so that I can push through the chicane and go faster than everybody, and boom. Tom shuts the door on me there, and I don't get through how I wanted to. So I should have been probably 2 or 3 wheels in front of where I'm at. Maybe on the Primal Audi Denver rider, or the Bicycle House rider that's 2 or 3 riders up. And you can see Walker is up there as well. And realistically, that is the wheel I needed to be on. So there, I got squeezed once again. Tom is on my left, and the rider on my right actually came into me, and I basically like bumped both of them at the same time, and I had to back out because I didn't have space to go forward. And so now we're coming in the last 2 corners, and as you can see, I'm sitting way too far back here. I pick up the pedal, I'm like, all right, I gotta find any space I can. That opens up, and I'm like, dude, here it is. Oh, try and shoot the gap. That's a no-go. I can get sandwiched there, but that's all right because it opens back up and I find space underneath, and I'm like, all right, dude, uncork it. 1260 watts, 42 miles an hour closing speed here. But 40 ain't enough, man, when you're sitting 20th wheel. So, you know, I had a good run at it. I did top out right at like 41, 42, and it's just a struggle, man. Early in the season, the fitness is looking promising, but my positioning and my assertiveness and getting up there earlier is not really dialed just yet. So it feels good. I am able to uncork pretty good numbers. Now, this is nowhere near my peak. Lately, I've been able to see that max power of like 16 something, and my 5 seconds around 15:30 or something. So I want to be able to unleash that at the end of a race, and that's where I need to get to. So that tells you something about my fitness. It's not quite there if I'm not able to get closer to my peak at the end of a race. So Max comes up on my left. Big thing here is, you know, if we could have put something together as a team and maybe I just had a clean wheel to the line and uncorked that same sprint, would have been probably a lot more competitive. But yeah, no points on the day. I think I locked up, it was a top 20 finish. I was like 16th, 17th, 18th, somewhere in there. Nothing special, top 3rd, you know, first true Cat 2 stage race in the books. Yeah, no points, but the fitness is looking good. I think they will come later in the season once I get kind of back on the horse here. So, yeah, it was very fast, 30 miles an hour. Shouts to everybody we rode with this weekend. That was a good one. Always love this race out in Phoenix. And if you guys want to follow along and stay tuned and in on the action that is going to come for the rest of the season, some more big racing like this, maybe check out one of these videos that just popped up on the screen here. I appreciate you guys watching. I really think that things will get dialed. So I'm getting the race brain back. It just takes a minute early in the season like this, but yeah, bear with me. I think yeah, some big things are coming. We've been racing a lot, so stay tuned for those videos. I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.